Welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button and the notification button so you will receive an immediate alert as soon as I upload my latest video. In this channel, I discuss tips and vital information that will help aspiring scholars secure a fully funded scholarship position of their choice. Today, I'll be talking about 8 crucial documents that are necessary, that are required for you to apply successfully for a scholarship. These documents are necessary because failure to provide all of them or any of them that is required would mean an incomplete application and would also mean that your application will not be considered at all. Number one, the scholarship application form. The scholarship application form is the form or the platform or the web page where you enter in the responses to the questions the scholarship offers, the scholarship of advertisers have presented. Each scholarship is unique and they present different questions to assess the personality, the experience, the exposure, and the qualifications of all the applicants. It is based on the information provided, the responses provided to the answers they have given, that they make their decision on who to select, those to place in the waiting list, and those to be entirely rejected. Number two, your international passport or national ID. If you would require a visa to travel to the destination of the scholarship, then your international passport is mandatory, is necessary, is required, because this is the document that you would submit to apply for your visa. And some scholarships require you enter in the ID number of this passport or national ID into the form itself. Number three, copies of transcripts or academic certificates. Transcripts are detailed records of all the subjects or courses you have taken at a particular level and the grades you made in them, the grades you achieved in each of those subjects or courses. Now, for those who are applying for their first degree, their bachelor's degree, some universities will require that aside or in addition to your secondary school certificate, which is the final certificate for secondary school education, you should also include your secondary education transcript. If I use Nigeria for an example, this will mean that you will include results of your SS1, SS2, and SS3 studies. Now, not all universities require this, but some do. It is necessary to have this on hand depending on where you are applying to and what exactly they require. Of course, for other higher levels, advanced degrees like master's and PhD, you will require the transcript of your BSc and the transcript of your master's for you to apply to the relevant programs. Now, this means that as soon as you graduate, as soon as the Senate approves your result, you should apply for your transcript right away and have it handy so you could use it for your applications when it is required. Number four, statement of purpose or letter of motivation. The statement of purpose or letter of motivation is always required in all scholarship application. This is an essay of 1 page or 1.5 page that shows who you are, what experiences you have been through, and why you are applying for that scholarship or that program, and what impact or benefit contribution of that scholarship or program would be to you in terms of your career goals, which could be short-term goals, medium-term goals, or longer-term goals. Now, in preparing this document, some universities will specify exactly what they want to see in this document. Some will also include the length. Some may cut it down to about 500 words, some of them 400, and some there is liberty for you to take as much space you need. But this must be concise. The selection committee, the highlights and the crucial points of why you should be selected for that scholarship. Number 5, letter of recommendation. Every scholarship would ask you to provide contact details of recommenders or referees. And in my previous video, I talked about maintaining a healthy relationship with your lecturers or employers or supervisors, because they are the ones who provide this recommendation or referees for your scholarship application. Now, it is necessary to provide the correct contact details of these recommenders. The letters of recommendation is very critical in the decision of the selection committee to award you a scholarship. You should work closely with your recommender or referee to provide such persons with vital information such as your CV and even the statement of purpose you have written for that particular application. And in that way, they are able to craft their recommendation based on the ideas and information you have provided to the scholarship committee already in these other documents that you submit. And this way, they are able to write a strong recommendation for your admission or acceptance into that position. Number 6, curriculum vitae or resume. This is a document that contains a summary of your work experiences or study experiences or interests or achievements, academic achievements, career achievements, or other things that you must have had, like awards and things like this. Now, this document provides the selection committee a mental picture of who you are and what you have done and what you have achieved so far in your career or in your studies. And information you provide here will be used in evaluating your application. Number 7, standardized test scores. Standardized test scores, for example, SAT and the GRE, are the most common that are used in assigning and awarding scholarships for bachelor's degree and advanced degrees respectively. Now, you understand that there are different levels of education, different curriculums that are tailored to meet the cultural and developmental needs of all the countries in the world. But now, the standardized examination enables the evaluator or the examiner or the assessor to treat them equally. This is why it is called the standardized test scores. Some scholarships will require you to supply this information, your scores in these kinds of tests, while some will waive it and would make their decision based on other documents that you have submitted. Number 8, I call these other documents. Scholarships require specific documents in addition to all these basic ones I have listed from number 1 to 7. This could be health documents, it can be security checks, it can even be portfolios or other kinds of additional documents that are required to provide more insight into your person or your work, depending on the course of study. And so whatever the scholarship specify must be carefully considered and provided so that you will submit a complete application, because only complete applications are assessed. Incomplete applications are weeded out at the first stage, and only complete application make it to the next level of consideration of either successful or unsuccessful application. That's all for this video, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content, and if you did, kindly click the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you have not, and share this video to those who would need this information within your network. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you. I'm interested in scholarships, but how can I find one? How can I get one? How do I start? What is the process? In this video, I show you 5 tips of how to win any scholarship. These are 5 top secrets on securing on winning any scholarship at all in the world. My name is Emmanuel Eze, and I welcome you to Scholarship Gen. I'm happy to be your Scholarship Gen guide. Number one secret, streamline what you need. What is the course you want to do? In which universities are these courses found? And in which of the countries of the world are they found? When you're able to answer these three questions, then you have narrowed down exactly what you should build further searches upon. Now, it is necessary for me to mention that you should streamline to the course you need because courses abroad are captioned differently. They have different titles from what you may be familiar with back in your home country. And it is necessary to streamline the field you really want to focus on so that when you commence the search for the courses online, you'll be able to identify exactly what you're looking for when you find it. In the first step, I would advise you streamline to about, of course, it should be the same course or a similar course or in the same field, to 10, 15, or 20 universities across different countries of the world. This takes me to the next secret, the next step, the next tip. Number two, seek out the entry requirements of these courses. Seek them out. The entry requirements, the application requirements, and the things that are required of you. It is important to do so because there are some requirements you may not meet. For example, when I was searching for scholarship, I knew I did not want to write any standardized test. So any course, any university, any scholarship that requires me to have GRE, I marked an S. I cancelled it out. Again, I did not want to evaluate my transcript. And so any university that wanted me to conduct an evaluation of my transcripts or my degree, I ruled it out because I didn't want to go through those stress. So you need to streamline what you need, search out the entry requirements, and this number two steps in identifying the entry requirements will also help to narrow down again, weed off some other universities that you feel you cannot meet up with those application requirements. Number three, submit a very strong application. Each scholarship or program abroad would have a set of questions that they ask you to determine your personality, to determine your experiences, to determine your suitability for the course or for selection for funding. You need to ensure that you provide very strong, relatable, natural answers to these questions to be selected for the scholarship or for the program. Now, this means if you're talking about yourself, for example, you're making a statement and you say, I am a high achiever. No, you don't stop there. You can say, I am a high achiever. I have achieved excellent grades, maybe in percentage, 90% or 80%, or this CGPA or that CGPA or this result or that result in my previous study. That's better. Or if you want to say, I am resilient, you won't stop there. You can say, I did this and that despite this. This makes your storyline stronger, more relatable, and more acceptable in giving you exactly what you need. The next secret, number four, sit, pray, and wait. Submitting a scholarship on a deadline or before a deadline doesn't mean that one day, 2 days, or 1 week after the deadline, the results are out. It's a long process that takes a lot of board meetings, personal evaluation, board meetings, consultations, and deliberations before their choices are made. It takes time. So you have to sit, get engaged while you wait for the outcome of your application. Keep familiarizing yourself with the courses you have applied for. If there are skills that are required that you need to build, you keep building yourself, you keep developing yourself to ensure that when you succeed, you start off with the right footing. Number five, start again if you fail. Not every scholarship application is successful at the first or second attempt. If you fail, sometimes there are comments that are given, sometimes There are specific evaluations that you receive from those who have assessed your application. You can build on that to develop a better application next time. Remember, in step 4, I said develop yourself while you wait for the outcome. As you develop yourself, as you improve yourself, you discover that each application would be an improvement of the last. Each submission would have an improvement on the last. And as you continue in this way consistently, you will find that one of these days you're going to celebrate your successful scholarship acceptance. Congratulations in advance. That's all for this video. I wanted to keep it short, streamlined, to give you the top secret, my top secrets of winning any scholarship. And I wish you the best in your future application. Go, apply, and succeed. Thank you. See you in the next video. And I welcome you to the meeting. And this will be brief, but I'll make it purely demonstrative because you're here to get to know the process from step 1 to end of how to get a scholarship. And I've already addressed the secrets to getting a scholarship in some of my YouTube videos, and how to get a professor to reply your email and similar topics like this. Now, I'm going to do this in a demonstrative way. And so if you'd allow me, I'll share my screen. Now, keep this in mind. The things I'm going to be demonstrating. One, my scholarship secrets remain: number 1, get a course. What course do you want to read abroad? Then, in what universities are these courses found globally? So, number 1, get a course. Number 2, get a university, the university that offers the courses. Then, for degrees like the PhD, you have to get supervisors in some instances. When you get the course and the university, you'll be able to see what entry requirements these universities have placed for their courses, and then you'll be able to tell if they require you to get a supervisor or not. If they do, then the next step becomes get a supervisor. If they don't, the next step becomes meet the entry requirements, the application documents of that course, and apply. And afterwards, wait. If it comes back positive, celebrate and accept. But if it comes back negative, you keep applying until you get it. Now, the first demonstration, get a course. My listeners are in the field of power engineering and geology and others. So I would use, for example, power engineering or electrical engineering in general to see the universities abroad that offer these courses. And I could also try with geology. So allow me to share my screen for this demonstration. And I'll share my sound too here. And this is my screen. On this journey of getting scholarships, Google is your best friend. And we start with saying, let me start with in engineering, electrical engineering, for example. Okay, you can see some people already searched for different stuff: electrical engineering in Germany, electrical engineering masters in Germany, and so on and so forth. But let me click electrical engineering in Germany. If you want it for US, it's the same process. Now, here we go. usnews.com is one of the popular websites that gives you top information about universities and other kinds of news. Now, usnews.com has this best global universities for electrical and electronic engineering in Germany. This is just a demo, an example for this demonstration and following what came up. going into Google, you will find a lot of other options. If you have something specific in mind, you can also go ahead to type it in. So, of course, sometimes we have to agree to some of these cookies thing. Now you see best global universities for electrical and electronic engineering in Germany. You can see Technical University of Munich is there, University of Erlangen in Nuremberg is there, Technical University of Berlin is there, and armed with this information, I can decide to go straight to TUM. That's the short code we have. TUM, and then I go straight to their university website, and I begin to check out the engineering courses that they have. I don't know why this is delaying. This is strange. Or better still, the degree programs, master's degree programs that are there. The master's degree program opened faster. Then you can see master's degree programs at TUM, and it says it offers over 100 master's degree programs with a variety of fields. And you can see the different types of programs that they have. Then how do you now delve into that? You can see what they are leading you to here. That you have to have completed an undergraduate degree, for example, a bachelor's program, and then they give you further directives. And we scroll down now. Our interest is a master's degree program. Here, we can get to open and see the list of master's degree programs that they run. And it will always come up in this way, alphabetically. Since you have something in mind, electrical engineering, we can type it, you see, just by this, it brings it up. And for German schools, please take note that most times you won't see PhD listed as a degree program because PhD is a research program. And so most times they refer to it as a doctoral researcher. And so PhD is not like a conventional study, it's research. And it has a different procedure than straightforward admission in this way. And let me quickly say that for Germany, the procedure is that you get a supervisor first. You have to get a supervisor in most of the cases, except there is a tailor-made program that is available, structured, and given from maybe a project that has already been attracted, and they just need people with research experience who can come into that program, carry out the research, and be awarded a PhD. So in such structured program where there is a project with funding, then you don't need a supervisor. You only need to fit and qualify into their project. But in a conventional PhD arrangement called the individual PhD in Germany, you will need to get a supervisor who will accept you to come, as his PhD student. And armed with that letter, you can now start applying for funding, since most of them don't really have funding to bring you over. Let's continue here. So we look at electrical engineering and information technology. Clicking on this, it takes us straight to the department, and it shows us the type of study, main location, and the summary about this study. And you can see the cost. Most schools in Germany are free of charge. The cost here is just 138 euros. And then you can now read, what does this program cover? You can see the components of this program. So what this means is that if you're interested in any of these fields here that they have for their masters, it means that they have experts in this field who can also supervise a PhD. So this is a technical way to go around this kind of situation. So you see the core areas of the program, and then you can see the structure of the program here, and then you can see the language of instruction. The language of instruction for this program is German or English, and then you can see what further expertise and skills will I acquire. These are the things that are contained here. So you see, this is just how to go about this. And we did this for school in Germany. How about the USA? Let's see what comes up. What comes up about electrical engineering in the USA? Let's say PhD. electrical engineering USA. You can just type anything that you think. Already here we can see 47 PhD programs in electrical engineering. You can even scroll down and look at the nature of the feedback that comes, the responses that come from Google. You can see different universities already, and the same US news here. You can see that it has something for you. But again, right from this first page, we're already seeing something from University of North Texas, which is in the US. So since we have done electrical engineering, let's better look at power PhD, power engineering. Let me remove in USA or anywhere. PhD in power engineering. Can you see what it gives me? Power engineering, PhD. Cottbus is also a German school. And all I need to do is just click on it. And then I'm here on this University of Cottbus on their power engineering Doctor of Philosophy program. So this way already, you are seeing the search straightforward, straight ahead. And this is one. Get a course for the person in geology, PhD in geology. That will be more straightforward, more straightforward. University of München, that's University of Munich. There's a PhD program in geology. Of course, it's giving me all these responses because I'm in Germany, so it will give priority to German results. And there is also a PhD in geosciences being advertised by the DAAD at the University of Göttingen. There is an international PhD program in geoenvironment, geosciences, University of Tübingen. And there is an Institute for Geology in the University of Hamburg. So the first thing is, what do I really want to do in my next degree program? And you go ahead and put that search into Google. Then what follows is how Google gives you the university and gives you also the component of each of those universities to show their entry requirement and all of this. Let me take this one of power engineering for us to navigate and see if we can get their entry requirements, if there's anything like that. Definitely there will be. If you come here now, under the power engineering PhD advertised in this Brandenburg University of Technology in Cottbus, you can see that there is a description, and there is also the fields of activity that they expect you to, to be able to operate it when you graduate. Followed by that, you can look at the program content, you can look at the admission, and in admission, you see application step by step. They provide you with that information, how to apply. And then all the information is there, and then the processing of the information is right there. Admission, how do you get that? Is there before arrival, upon arrival. All these things, reading them will make you to begin to feel the pulse of the institution and the program, and it will make you to write whatever statement of purpose or letter of motivation that is required of you. And continuing, you can see application documents. Very, very important. And you must follow it as strictly as they have presented it. You can see the color passport style photo, a CV with academic and professional experiences, and then a statement of research interest, maximum of 1 page, and then a brief research proposal of about 5 pages. And look at the template. They say, please use our template. So you see now, you need to follow this regulation strictly. I'm sure that this example will suffice. Electrical engineering PhD. This is University of North Texas, and you can see the same thing. And now let's go ahead to the next thing. Find a supervisor. Let me also use these examples to demonstrate how to find a supervisor. Now I will use these 2 places open. I have never been to these websites before. Now this is what I would normally do by myself. I mean, if I were to come here to look for this information, I'm now in the University of North Texas, electrical engineering PhD web page, and this is the landing page of this website, and it shows me all the graduate opportunities, the research laboratories, and all of these that they have, the admission requirements, the degree requirements, and then the financial assistance that are available. Do you also see this one is even straightforward already? Directly under it, faculty. I'm seeing here the list of their faculty members, the supervisors, the professors that are all here. There are about more than 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one is straightforward. The faculty is here. The faculty members are here. And you can see their specialization. This one is involved in ecological and environmental modeling and monitoring, global climate change. And this one is involved in communication systems with a focus on signal and image processing. And let me see if there is somebody here in power engineering. Well, you can have a look later at your own pace. But if you look through all this faculty, and there is no one with exactly what you have in mind. Definitely, I'm sure that we all have option A, option B, and option C of what we are really interested in. And I came here to look for a power engineering professor, but I cannot find. But then I think I like also. I can work on wireless communication. I think I'm interested in artificial intelligence, wireless sensor networks. As I look here, I see, okay, my option B is available. In fact, I have more wireless sensor professors here. There is one here, and then there is wireless here. There's another one here, and I saw another one up here. There's wireless here, and that way you're able to say, okay, let me now move to option B. For this particular university, let me try wireless sensor, or maybe let me do a further research and see if power system engineering or if power engineering is something that is contemporary. Or is there something else in my field where there is few research, and me too, I think I want to learn more about this. It helps to shape our decision in different ways. So going for a study abroad, you must be ready to be flexible, to adjust your research interests to fit the interests of those you are seeking funding from. Because if you yourself are the funder, you will only fund what is interesting to you. You will not fund what is interesting to the other person and not interesting to you, or what advances your student but does not advance you. You will not want to fund that, except the student is coming with his own funding. He can choose to do whatever he wants within your expertise as long as you can supervise. But if the student is coming under your funding, then your own research must also be advanced as well as the student's knowledge. So this is what to keep in mind. So now I've shown you how to get the course and how to get the requirements of the course and how to also get potential supervisors. So I use North Texas. Let's try the German website and see what happens. Now we have seen all of this. How do I locate the supervisors or the staff members here? There is always a contact page. The contact page is for general contact. And on this one, I can see that the contact page has the contact of the director of studies, who is a professor, the study program coordinator. Remember, we're in the web page of power engineering. So even if I don't know any professor there, and I really want to get to a professor, or maybe I've written 1, 2, 3 professors in this department, and they're not replying, I can write to the director of studies, I can write to the study program coordinator, who is Dr. Renat. Dr. Renat is a German abbreviation for Doctor of the Things of Nature. And I can also write to the admission and registrar's office directly, and they will definitely reply me, because these ones are more public than professors. So a professor may not reply you, even when you have written a powerful, compelling email attaching your CV and your transcripts and your other documents or your research proposal. He may not have the time to reply, or he just not feel like reply, or he may not even have read it at all, because it may have landed in the spam box. But these people, the director of studies, these people whose email address appear in the public site, in the public part of the website as the contact person of the institution, they always check all their boxes, whether it's inbox or spam box, and they try to reply, because they're the image makers of the department, of the institute, or the university you're writing to. So it's always another alternative to try to contact them so as to get firm response of whether these professors want you or they don't want you, they are on study leave, or sorry, they are on sabbatical, or they have gone for some research leave, or research stay abroad and are not available. You may not know all those facts, but when you write them, you will get a firm and clear response. Now, again, cheers. Here we may find information on different aspects of research chairs. In some institutes in Germany, research chair will signify a research niche, and with a professor, or like an area of that field where a professor is in charge, is a chair. And here for this example of Brandenburg, you can see the different aspects: control systems and network control technology, decentralized energy system. This NN, I don't know what it means. Maybe it's not available. And then you can see all the chairs that they have. Now, what do I do if I was to come here? Maybe I'm interested in power electronics and drive system. I open it. I see that the chair is Professor Muhlenkamp. I open it, and then I wait and see. Oh, look at that. Professor Muhlenkamp is the contact person of this chair. And not only is his email here, his phone number is also here, his fax number is also here, and in his secretariat, of course, the professor will have a secretariat with the secretary. The email of the secretary is also here, and the telephone number. So this now makes me to do what next? In this chair, called the LES2, like the professorial chair of Muhlenkamp, of what we just read, power electronics. I can see here, this has switched to German. I better switch it back to English so you can follow me. Even me myself, I cannot follow it if it's in German. So you can see here, they have subdomain, even under this chair. You go to you can see under the teaching tab, look at what they have: semester overview, courses, exams, theses, and downloads. In their research, you can see their focal points, their projects. You can see their publications. You can see the team members, employee, former employees, contact person. So this is how you move from website to website. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes a lot to actually land a scholarship, because it takes a lot of hard work. It may even be sleepless nights. That time in the night, you know that the internet is fast and will respond to you very quickly and help you go from place to place, to establish the course you want to do. The universities, maybe 5 universities across the world, maybe one in Asia, one in America, one in Europe. I'm just giving an example. Even one in Africa, maybe South Africa or another country, as long as funding is available. Establish the courses, establish the university, establish the entry requirement, and then get to know professors who are in that department, who are in that university, and their areas of expertise. The next thing I want to do as a power engineering person who wants to specialize in this power electronics will now be to search out this man. So George Muhlenkamp. He may have a personal website. And if he doesn't have a personal website, okay, it may still take me back there. If he doesn't have, I can go on Google Scholar. Google Scholars. Go on Google Scholar and search for his name. And you can see that it brings me to different works that he has authored and co-authored. That way I can read what he has done so far. This is not my registered Google Scholar account. Otherwise, I would have been able to click on him, click on his name, and see all the articles at once. You can also go on ResearchGate, for example. I don't know if I'll be able to. You can also let's just do a search for him and add ResearchGate, because this is not my main Chrome account. So you can see, just adding ResearchGate brings me to his research profile. Look at his smiling face, attracting you. But he has just 4 publications here, which means that he is not updating his ResearchGate profile. You can still search for him using his name and LinkedIn. I do not know if he's on LinkedIn because it's not bringing any good result. Most likely, he may not be. He may not be on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm seeing this, but that's not the name. So I'm just giving you an example of different search options you can explore to get at a professor, know the kind of research he's doing, so that you can craft a very strong mail that appeals to him from the angle of his research and from the interest that his research has sparked off. You must be as sincere and genuine as possible. And the only way to do that is to follow that person and know what he or she has done and what he or she intends to do in terms of research interest. Now, getting all this information will be useless if you do not cool down, sit down, and gather all the necessary research. I keep saying research, application documents. These documents that have been listed will be properly and carefully prepared. I hope you notice that I didn't go through everything. It is your duty to go through everything. So it is not just these 3 documents that were required. They need a certified copy of your, original higher education entrance qualification. That is your WAEC for those of us in Nigeria, and certified copies of your bachelor's and master's certificates and transcripts. Now, if this is not easy for you to get from your university or the institution that issued it, you can go to any court of law. There's a high court. There's a high court in every major city or in every major local government, and tell them that you want to authenticate your document. They're going to look at it, certified true copy. You pay the necessary amount, and then they will sign and stamp, put a seal of the judiciary to show that they have looked at the true copy, and this is a certified true copy. It looks like the true copy. It has not been mutilated. It is just exactly like the original, and we have cited it. And that is what that means when you see certified copies. And 1 to 2 pages summary of your master thesis, and then 2 letters of recommendation from university professors, and proof of English proficiency and possible exemptions. Nigerians and other Anglophone speaking countries are mostly exempted from English language requirements because personally I speak English more than my mother tongue. All my education has been in English, and so are yours. From nursery school, they start teaching us in English. The teachers start speaking English, whether they speak it correctly or not. From daycare, we start learning in English. So we have a strong reason to always seek exemption. Again, your university can provide you with a certificate of English proficiency to show that your higher degree, your first degree or your second degree, it was done in English language. The lectures were conducted in English language. The examination and assessment was conducted in English language, and so on and so forth. So all these application documents should be met, and then you apply before the deadline. So this is a start, a scratch of how to get a scholarship. Now, you pick a course you want to do, and then you get the universities that offer that course, and then you get the application requirements and documents required, and then you get a supervisor if it is necessary, and you meet all the requirements for the course. Now, some courses are directly attached to funding. It is now your duty to establish whether this course has automatic funding attached or not. In the US, most PhD courses have funding attached, but it's not automatic. You have to apply, and it will be stated clearly. In Germany, for an example, you can apply for admission, get admitted, and if the supervisor has funding, you will know from your initial interactions. But if your supervisor doesn't have funding, you can ask him for advice on getting funding for your program should you be considered and selected. And for the German case, we know the DAAD has funding for both undergraduates master's, PhD, postdoctoral research, and faculty. So coming to a German school or getting admitted into a German school becomes the first step of the two. It means you have to now apply for the funding, and this may come in different ways. Now, for the PhD, how mine was done was that I got a letter of acceptance into the program from my supervisor. And then with that, I applied for the DAAD scholarship. And then when the DAAD granted me scholarship, I was now directed to get my admission from my faculty. And then after the faculty gave me admission, upon the date of the commencement of that admission, I applied to another second level of admission from the university. So the processes differ by the university, by the program, by the country. But this is the summary of how it goes. The important thing is to dig deep into the available information on the web. So your responsibility is to come up with a course or 2 or 3 courses that suit your interest. When you're going to study abroad, this is a very, very rigorous process. It is a very, very demanding and challenging experience that is different from what we have witnessed back in Africa. I'm talking to Africans now. And so because of that, you have to keep your mind open in having about 2 to 3 options of courses that you think you have an interest, courses that you know you can have internal motivation to follow through to the end, irrespective of the challenges that may come up along or the difficulties that you will encounter. When you have established those courses, you now go ahead to find out which universities offer these courses across the world. And then as you do that next level of research, your interest is increasing in specifics of those aspects. And then you are saying, okay, for this course, I think I prefer this university, that university. And then for this course, I think this university, this and this have, they have a better component, a better course component that interests me. And then for this third course, I think that University ABC, I prefer them. I prefer what they have to offer. Then you have that spread of options, that you want to pursue, that is narrowed down. That way, you're not just looking for, a course in thousands of universities. You narrow it down to, maybe 3 courses in about 6 or 9 universities across the world, and you delve into studying what options are there, and then who are the professionals, the professors who are there, what is their interest, what are they doing, what have they done, and what are they likely to do in the future. With that information, you now familiarize deeper with the application document, application procedures, and how funding can be received. Am I going to follow, the funding route of becoming a research assistant to a professor? Or am I going to go with the graduate teaching assistant? Or am I just going to apply for, the ones that are purely scholarship, where I don't have to do any extra work to earn my monthly stipend? So this is the process of how you get admitted to study abroad, and also funding for your research abroad. So at this point, I think I will stop to take questions. I hope that I've been able to clarify and to make it clear on how you can really get to identify your courses. And I've made this demonstration how to identify your courses. Google becomes your friend, and when you find the courses and the universities, narrow down on the entry requirements, and then the supervisors, their expertise, their previous research, their current research and ongoing research, and future interests, especially those parts that they have not touched, to align, blend in, and to seize the opportunities. So at this point, I would say thank you very much for listening, and I'm glad to take questions at this point. Thank you. Professor ABC, I am a Nigerian trained geographer who applied for an MSc program at the Department of ABC in Canada. I want to know if you are willing to supervise my intended thesis titled blah blah blah, and I'm open to any form of adjustment or change on the topic. Thank you. Awaiting your response. And he said, I don't know why I did not get any response so far. And I said, well, if I'm the one, I won't give any response either, because this email, a cold email, an unsolicited email, is not well crafted to elicit a response from any busy professor, any professor at all globally. Now, in this video, I will show you how to write an email, a cold email as it is called, that will get a response from a professor anywhere in the world. Welcome to Scholarship Gen, and I'm happy to have you here. My name is Emmanuel Eze, your Scholarship Gen guide. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please click on the subscription button. Subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so that as soon as I upload the latest video, you will get an alert and follow up with the recent topic I have to discuss. What is a cold email? A cold email is an introductory mail to a professor you have never met, a researcher you have never met, whose research interests align with yours, and you will want to consider you for a position or a place in his lab or in the department. Now, professors have their profiles on the university website, and on this website, they have information on their research interests, the projects they are coordinating or have coordinated, and then thesis they have supervised at master's or PhD level. And this becomes your first step, first shot at writing the right email. Because if you write a letter to a professor ABC who is in a different research interest, who has a different research interest from your own interest, that will already be going off the track. And so it is your first assignment to determine the professors in the field, in the university you have decided to go before going ahead to write this mail. At this point, I will say it is very necessary to make your email personal to each of the professor. It means that you have identified 50 professors in your field in different universities and you're ready to send an email. You don't just go and use you don't send all the email at a go and say, okay, shortcut, and then dump all the emails in the CC or in the BCC box and send to all of them at once. No, you personalize the email where you address each professor by their appropriate title and by their last name. So it means that if you want to address me as a professor, for example, my name is Emmanuel Eze, you address me as Dear Professor Eze and not Dear Professor Emmanuel. You must understand that a title has to go with the last name. So this is the first thing to do. Send a personalized email to all professors you have identified, not just a mass email, a bulk email to all the professors at once. No, it has to be personalized. This is one mistake many people make by sending bulk email, mass email, at once to many professors across the world and waiting for a response. You may never get a response because if you just say, Dear Professor, and you continue writing, well, you can be any professor. It's not to me. So I do not have to look at it at all beyond the first line of Dear Professor. But when you say, Dear Professor Eze, then it's okay. This mail is it's intended for me. And let me quickly look through what he has to say, he or she has to say. And this is one way to get a professor to read your email and then choose either to reply or not to reply. The next things I will say in the video will also elicit a response from the professor if you do it right. And what will be the next thing after the correct address, um, um, the correct introduction or the correct salutation to your email, your cold email? The next will be to give a sentence or two of who you are. My name is Emmanuel Eze, a graduate of ABC, of course, university, and then with special interest in this and that. It must be clearly stated, short. You don't start your email by saying, I hope you're well, I hope your family is fine, I hope you're doing okay today. That is a waste of time. You go straight to introducing yourself in not more than 3 sentences. My name is ABC, and I graduated from ABC. Probably, if you want to add with CGPA in bracket, and then my interest is in ABC. This makes the first start short, simple, and straightforward. And at a glance, the professor will look at the important information on who you are. Also, introducing yourself in the first 2, 3 sentences. The next will be to state the purpose of your email. Why are you contacting them? And the purpose must be specific, must be relatable enough. It's not just I'm contacting you to be my supervisor. Good, that's straight ahead, but there must be a reason why. Like the children will always ask why, but why? Then you start with how you came across his um how you came across um, his profile, for example. Have you been doing a lot of searches lately? Or have you read a journal article? Have you read a manuscript online? Have you read something that he published? Or you just, went straight ahead to the school website? You just give a sentence of how you found him. And then you go ahead to talk about what he is doing that interests you and what you want to do that is related to what he's currently doing or what he has the plans to do. So you want to look at how both of you are a fit because you're not just meaning the professor to supervise you and you alone will be benefit you alone will benefit from the relationship. This is a mutual relationship. It's going to be something that benefits you as well as benefits the supervisor. So you're looking for the areas that connect both of you together that when he agrees to enter into a relationship with you, you benefit in advancing your career. He also benefits in advancing his career, in advancing his research, either currently ongoing research or his research interests, which are not explored. And this means that you can also be innovative to look at aspects that are not yet in focus within your field that the professor is likely to think towards and bring up in this paragraph. This paragraph should not also be long. Generally your email should be short and minimum in some in a few amount of words. I don't want to give a benchmark that will keep the attention of the professor to read through to the very end and then decide either to look at your attached documents for further information, which I will come to later, and then give you a response. After introducing yourself and then explaining to the professor how you found him and how your interest and his matches, you have to go ahead in another paragraph to say why you are emailing them. Are you sending them an email because you want them to supervise your thesis? And if yes, what is the proposed thesis title in 1 sentence or two? What is the main aim of that thesis and how does it relate to their interest and their current or future research projects? And you go ahead to say exactly what you want. Or are you sending them an email to become a research assistant in their lab or whatever? You have to state clearly what you want. Don't end up, introducing yourself and talking about how your interests and the interests of the professor aligns without going ahead to mention exactly what you want in a nutshell. I want you to be my thesis advisor. Or I want to work in your lab as a research assistant to fund my studies. I want to to be attached to you as your graduate research assistant, as your graduate teaching assistant, who will take, a portion of your courses, who assist in doing ABC in the courses that you already take. You must be clear enough in stating exactly what you want. Ensure to make it crisp and straight to the point. If you're writing a short email, you don't want to be telling a long story. It has to be straight to the point to get the answer that you need. After stating what you want, you should now state why they should take you. Why? What do you possess? What makes you stand out from a lot of other persons, thousands of persons or hundreds of persons who are sending the professor the same email? This is where you sell yourself, you market yourself as the unique candidate, as a unique person who the professor should pick above others. who are sending the same email and making the same request. This is your unique selling point. So I call it USP. You have to state why you should be taking, probably what experience you have had before. And even if you've not had an experience, what motivates you, what moves you, what pushes you to want to take that path, to want to work for him or to want to be supervised by him. You state it clearly why you should be taking, your experiences in the past or your motivation or both of them, and the skills that you possess that can be helpful to him in that task that he has, in his research, in his interest. And you make that also sharp and clear. If there are further details that are contained in an attached document, this is the point to state it. You can state your skills, a few of them, and you tell him that this is him or her, that this is, further details are included in your attached CV. That way you're referring him to the CV or resume you have attached, which I expect you should do at this point. If you have no practical experience, maybe working in a lab as a research assistant or teaching a course as a teaching assistant, you can bring up, experiences that are related. For example, if you have made presentations before, you've received commendations, or you have supported. Everybody has research experience. You have written a thesis for your BSc, or you have done some short research. Probably you even have a publication that can stand, in proxy, as that can stand as a research experience. So there is something you have which you must at this point out, mention and present to the professor as your unique selling point why you should be taken. And you talk about your availability, when you are available, to have, a meeting to discuss further and things like this. So this is, in a nutshell, what should be in your cover letter. And in sending this cover letter, it is always advised to attach your CV or resume, as it may be called, and then your transcripts, which show, the subjects, the courses you have taken, and your final grade, to give an insight into what you might have been exposed to, and if you are a fit for the professor's research and for the professor's lab or research group, and so on and so forth. So, in a nutshell, before clicking the send button, you must review the email. Ensure that you have addressed the professor appropriately. Ensure that you have addressed him or her, using the correct title. Ensure that the grammar of your email is correct and there are no punctuation or spelling errors. And then before you send, review your email before sending it out. And so that's all for this video on how to send email to professors and to receive a reply from them. If you have done a good job in sending, in drafting your email, you will get a response. And the response is either silence, yes, we can talk about this further, or no, you're not a good fit, or no, I don't have funding. And then whatever response is, you prepare yourself to give an appropriate follow-up reply to whatever the email is. If the reply is silent, if the response is silent, no yes, no no, you can go ahead and send a reminder email after maybe 2 weeks to remind the professor of the first email, and probably he didn't see it or he missed it or he forgot to reply. At that point, he may give a reply to you. That's all for this video. I want you to click the subscribe button if you have not, and expect more content that will help you secure a scholarship in your next application. Thank you and see you in the next video.